Hello, you guys. Uh-oh. Hi. I am trying to get comfortable. Okay, today I wanted to talk about how I stumbled onto the term of twin flames, or I guess what made me believe that I was part of a twin flame union or had met my twin flame. And it started by strange spiritual things that started happening to me. And I know there's like a tons of lists on the internet, but I just jotted down everything that I could think of. I have 13 things that I think, um, 13 things that I can think of off the top of my head that were symptoms that led me to believe that I was part of a twin flame union. What drove me to even look up the term twin flame, because I um, I was just Googling, trying to figure out what was happening with me. I think I might have started Googling something about feeling, is it possible to feel your soulmate's heart or something like that. And I think after so much Googling, I found out that I had like a lot of those symptoms that they were talking about. So anyway, just to start off with the list, I just jotted down 13 things. First thing, number one, premonitions. 2, intense headache. 3, deep desire to find answers, or like an obsessive search for answers. Feeling of 2 hearts or heartbeats inside of your chest, knot in the throat, body aches and soreness, increasing of dreams. I could smell him, taste him, intense. What, my writing is horrible. I'm on number 10. Intense beginning. Oh, the relationship began intensely, and just filled with love. Number 11, shooting vibrations in different parts of the body. Number 12, number synchronicities. And number 13, I kind of just threw this in there for fun, but if you're into tarot and you get a reading asking about who you think is your twin flame, and you get the Lover's card, and I will break down my interpretation of why I think this represents a twin flame card. And I should have wrote something down about astrology too, but I'm still new at astrology. I'm new at all of this, but I'll tell you, let me write it down right quick. I'll tell you the reason why I think astrology may have something to do with it. So let's start with the premonition. I told you guys, oh, and by the way, I had taken down my other videos yesterday. They're still down. Well, by the time you see this, I'll probably had published them again. But I took them all down because I had a falling out with my who I consider my twin, and I felt lost for a minute because I was hurt, because I had been holding on to hope. It was hope that was getting me out of this darkness. And by him not telling me yesterday that I need to move on, it broke my heart. It was like I thought that maybe he secretly harbored emotions for me. And that was what I was going based off of. I'm okay with being alone, because I was like, I'm okay with being alone because one day I know we'll be together. And he kind of shattered that hope yesterday. So I was kind of down yesterday, and Went to bed very early crying, whatever. I took down all the videos, but I put them back up and you can go back to look to them. Now, back to the symptoms. So, oh, and that was a hint if you haven't looked at my other videos and you're curious to go watch them. Because I want to help people, like if you're going through the same thing. I mean, it helps, you know, listening to other people talk about their issues. So, now, the reason the premonition began before I united with who I thought was a false, well, I thought he was my twin flame, but it was a false twin. I should call them by the names I have in my book. Let's call my false twin Assad and my real twin Messiah. Those aren't their real names. They're names that I had given them in my book, my memoir that I wrote. Okay, so Assad, the false twin. I had told you I was in love with Assad all of my life from childhood. And I hadn't seen him in years. We went to prom together and I hadn't seen him ever since then. Until I was 37 in the summer of 2013. And what happened was I was planning to go to my brother's birthday party, and I usually never go out. I'm really introverted. I don't like going out, but my brother really wanted me to come to his party. And my brother, he is friends with him, but I mean, they don't hang all the time, but they are close. We're close with their entire family. But anyway, you know, it had been years since I thought about Assad, and I wasn't thinking about him. But anyway, my brother was having his birthday party, and I was planning on coming to his birthday party. And so the night before my brother's birthday party, I had a dream about Assad that was so intense, so vivid, like, and it's not like, sorry, I got something in my contact lens. Ow. I've always been had premonitions on and off, but on and off throughout my life, but I had never had a premonition about him, and they're rare too. But I had a premonition about him that was so clear, and I didn't think it was a premonition at first. It was just a dream to me. It was just this vividy, velvety dream that was crystal clear. The conversations that we had, the emotions, the feelings, the scenery, I remembered it all when I woke up. It was so crystal clear and emotional that as soon as I opened my eyes, I wanted to see his picture. Because at the time we were friends on Facebook. We're not friends on Facebook anymore. It's drama with his current girlfriend. But anyway, yeah, so I went to his Facebook page just to look at his picture. And tears just started streaming down my eyes. And at the time I was involved with somebody. I was living with my boyfriend we were like together for 7 years, going on 8 years at the time. And anyway, I woke up from this, when I looked at his picture, all the emotions from the dream just came flooding in, and just tears just start coming out my eyes. And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm still crushing on him. Like I have not seen him since prom. And these emotions are so strong, like it's ridiculous, you know, because I had given up on the idea of me and him possibly marrying one day. But I had always thought that was going to be my husband one day. And so when I had that dream, you know, I just tried to blow it off, and I went to my brother's party. But I'm not going to lie, the thought crossed my head, like, I wonder if he invited Assad. So, when I went to the party, I wasn't going to stay long, and I had planned on leaving early, and my brother was like, "Oh, you just missed the side. He was asking about you, but you know, he had to go." And I was so disappointed, but I played it off because my brother didn't know how in love I was with him. So I was like, "Oh, that's okay." So something in me said, "Nope, he's coming back." That dream was too crystal clear. And so, sure enough, Asad came back to the party. We had a long conversation, just like the dream. There was so many similarities between what happened at my brother's party and that dream. It was ridiculous. And then not only that, the premonition continued because we ended up hanging out with his family again on the 4th of July of 2013 that year. And the fireworks, there were fireworks in the dream just going off behind us while we were talking. And that's what happened a couple of weeks later when we hung out together at the 4th of July. And so the dream, the premonition, I was like, this has to be something. It has to be something to this. So that was one of my symptoms of the twin flame union, or what I thought was a twin flame. But maybe I told you guys about, you all should look up false twin or catalyst. Male and what's his wife's name? Gold Ray twin flames. They have a video talking about the catalyst or something like that. And I think that's what Asad was, to open my heart center, to get me prepared for the meeting of my true twin. Okay, so then after that, like a few weeks later, of course, me and Asad, we started talking from there. I should note that although he was attracted to me, and it's a complicated story, and you really need to check out my book. It's kind of graphic, though. I don't know if you guys, some people might not like that stuff because I get kind of graphic with the sexuality and my growing up. But anyway, if you want to, though, you're welcome to download it on Amazon. I'll probably try and figure out how to throw the link in for that. But yeah, so he was attracted to me, but he never really pursued me because, just to make a long story short, he always thought we were related. So when he found out that we weren't related, you know, it was like a relief, but at the same time, it was just like, oh, but that idea is still in my head, like that we're cousins. So anyway, I was always chasing him, and I thought that I was the chaser and he was the runner, but there was never any mutual love between us, the way it was with who I consider to be my true twin flame, Messiah. So that makes the difference between him and Messiah, is that there was no mutual love. Me and Messiah, we were in love, like, woo, firecrackers for real between us. But Asad, there were firecrackers, it was heat, but he would never react on it. So it was just like me, just like chasing after him and trying to make it happen. So anyway, back to the intense headache. I'm sorry about that. I don't want this video to run over too long. Let me check the time. Oh, I'm at 8 minutes already. Sorry, you guys. I'm talking so long. Okay. So, the intense headache. I started seeing the number 37 because I was 36 at the time. So I started seeing the number 37 everywhere. And I was like, why do I keep seeing 37? And I said, maybe because I'm about to turn 37. So on my birthday, my 37th birthday, me and my family went out to dinner. And all of a sudden, I started gradually developing a headache, like around 8 o'clock, I think. And this was before we went out to dinner. Me and my family were just hanging out. And so before we went out to dinner, I just started developing this throbbing headache right in the center of my forehead. And it just got worse and worse throughout the night. And it became so terrible. And it was a big deal. It was different for me because I thought maybe it was a migraine. I had never had a headache that bad before. It was really bad. And I felt bad because I had stopped. It was my birthday and I had stopped laughing. Everybody was laughing and joking at the table. Now, mind you, by the time we got to the restaurant, sat down to eat, it was about 11 o'clock. We got a late start. And so I did have a brief thought like, no, I don't think I even thought about Kundalini at that time. Or I might have had a third eye thought, something about a third eye. Because shortly after I reunited with Assad, I started looking up things that kind of led me. I was looking up stuff about things about soulmates. And then it kind of like the search led me to other things, spiritual things. And I had started reading about those type of things. But anyway, it was like exactly at midnight, like I swear to God, like it just went away, just left. And I was like, that's weird. Like right after midnight, the headache just like ceased. No gradual leaving, it just stopped completely. And I took note of that because I thought that was strange. And I started making notes about everything that was happening to me because I noticed strange things are happening to me. Then I developed a deep sense. Number 3, I developed a deep sense desire to find answers. So I started just digging and searching for answers, like on the internet, Googling things, and to find out what was happening to me. And trying to see is this something that happens after you meet your soulmate, because I was just like, I know this is my soulmate. I've always known that, there's got to be something to it, so that's why I started searching for answers. And then I started searching for answers, just basically about myself, to figure out what was going on with me, and then things about soulmates. Then I started developing the feeling of 2 heartbeats in my chest. Something I didn't write down. I should have wrote down. That makes kind of like 13 things. So maybe it's all in the same category, but I started feeling like I was having orgasms. But it first started off with 2 heartbeats. At first I couldn't really describe what I was feeling in my chest. I'd just be working. I was working from home. And all of a sudden, I just started feeling like this sensation of my heart doing something weird. And I was like, what is this? And every time it would last maybe about an hour and go away. And then it started increasing, lasting 3 hours, getting more intense to the point, and around the same time every day, and then like maybe twice out the day. And I was just like, this is weird. Like, this never happened before me and Assad got together. So he has to have something to do with this, I mean, that's just me, just always looking for a spiritual answer. I mean, I guess it could have been a ton of reasons why that started happening, but I just thought it was strange. And so I started Googling that, like, what is this fluttering in my heart? And then the more I felt it, I was like, it actually kind of feels like 2 heartbeats beating side by side. And like just like a little energy thing going on. And so I Googled that, and then I told you about the orgasms in the lower region. I just started feeling, I'm so sorry that I'm getting giving out too much information, TMI. But I just start feeling orgasmic, and I was just like, what is this sensation? It's just doing it by itself. Like, this is weird. So I think maybe the first things I started looking up was like, can you feel your soulmate's heartbeat? Or what does it mean if you can feel your soulmate heartbeat? Or can you orgasm from a distance of your soulmate? And Googling that type of stuff led me to twin flames, and I was like, twin flames? I never heard of that. And so when I started reading that thing about, I think one of the listings, it said something about a premonition, and I was like, oh yes, that's what happened. I had the premonition, I had the third eye awakening, and now my heart's, I can feel his heart I could feel his emotions. You know, I was like, this is why. So that's how I stumbled on to the word, the term twin flames. And then, oh yeah, along with the fluttering, orgasmic feelings, I also felt like a knot in my throat. You know, like when you try not to cry, someone says something to you and you just start crying. But yeah, I had like that knot in my throat. Or like if you got a sore throat, a tonsillitis, whatever, and you just get that knot. It don't hurt as bad as that, a sickness though. It's not like a sickness. It's just a knot, just like something needs to move. And I had a knot in my throat. The other symptom, number 6, body aches and soreness. Now, I don't know if you've ever been in a car accident, but like after you've been in an accident, even if it wasn't like a bad accident, I think what happens, your body tenses up for that moment, and then like gradually throughout the day or the next day, your body feels kind of sore and weak at the same time. That's what my body started doing. It felt like sore and weak, and you know, some things were going on there. So, number 7, more dreams. I started dreaming about Assad so much. I keep saying Assad because this is when all of this stuff happened. And this is why, you know, I thought he was my twin flame. And, you know, I started having all these weird dreams about Assad. And he was even, I think we even had dream sharing. I know he told me one time, and he didn't like to admit to this type of stuff. He was just, you know, I didn't say twin flames to him. I didn't bring that up to him. But I did used to try to get him to admit that we were soulmates, because that's what I was like, this is my soulmate. And I still feel like Assad is my soulmate. But I think he just came here. See, now I'm going to go off into some real, what do you call it? Karmic, metaphysical stuff. I feel like people make soul contracts and before they come down to earth. And I think we had a contract together. I think he came to help me elevate my soul to ascend. And I think he was just a helper, or I think he had to play a role in it. He had to get my heart center open, because that intense love that I had for him, that intensity, I think it had to be activated for me to be open to receive love from a twin flame. Okay, sorry guys, I had to start over, and I used all the memory up and had to start over, so sorry. Okay, that means talk quicker. Number 9. Oh, the last thing I was left off at, I hope it recorded, was I smell him. I could smell his cigarettes when he wasn't around. Like a faint, like a, what do you call it? Ghostly, oh my God, that phantom cigarette smell that I used to smell sometimes. Taste. Now, this is weird. I know you're like, taste them, but get your mind out the gutter. Actually, this is with Messiah, and it's not like I taste his skin like that, but you know how two people, we have different odors or different taste in our mouth. This sounds so weird, but I could always tell when he was visiting or about to visit, because my mouth would taste like his. And no, it's not a bad breath or anything like that, but it's just a taste that he had that was not mine. It's different from mine, and I could taste him. I could just taste him in my mouth, and oh, that sounds so horrible. Let's get off a taste. Number 10. Intense beginning in the relationship. Yeah, the relationship started off so intense with Messiah. Not so much with Assad, because like I said, it wasn't mutual with Assad. I was just nuts about him. And he was attracted to me, but he never really pursued me. But Messiah pursued me. I told you guys all the while I was going after Assad, every month or every couple of weeks, Messiah would send me a text or give me a call just to see how I was doing, and offer to take me out, and just, but I was kind of like, oh, playing them off. And but yeah, but when me and Messiah did give it a chance, the relationship took off intensely. Like we were attached, like we were glued to the hip. We couldn't move without the other one moving. I mean, he came to a lot of places with me. He took me to a lot of his family houses. I mean, we were just glued. So, and we were just in love, like insanely in love. And but we would have those arguments and break up, but then we would get back together and we were just in love all over again. And I say it's intense because I had never started a relationship off like that. Like, he was staying at my house like almost immediately. And it's the type of thing that when you tell your 30-something friends, they like, you might want to slow that down, but we couldn't help it. And I don't regret it, I don't regret it. And let's see here. Number 11, shooting vibrations in different parts of the body. I would feel, it's kind of hard to explain, like something wiggling, shooting, like a jolt, some type of, or like, I almost want to say like a snake or a worm or something, just like wiggling up your skin and disappearing, like the feeling, wiggle, wiggle, gone, and then I would feel it like in my legs, in my thighs, my stomach, just different areas in my body. I'd just be like, what is that weird shooting sensation? And I looked that up and stumbled on the Kundalini and all of that, so number 12, number synchronicities. This started shortly after reuniting with Assad. It happened, I remember when it happened. I was just, when you're in love and you doodling names and Mrs. So-and-so, and so I don't know why, but I was just looking at our birthdays, and I saw that our birthdays were 11 weeks apart. And so hang on, that's my son. I'm doing a video in case you're wondering. No, sorry. Okay, so yeah, I was saying that oh yeah, I noticed that our birthdays were exactly 11 weeks apart. I don't know why I thought that was 11. I mean, if it was 9 weeks apart, ooh, 9 weeks, but something about that 11, I was like, 11 weeks apart, that's so bizarre. 11 weeks apart. And then I started noticing 11 on the clocks. Like the 37, me seeing 37 all the time, that went away after my 37th birthday. And then, you know what? I said it was 37. I'm so sorry. I started seeing the number 38. I'm so confused right now. Let me stop. Hold on. Let me slow down. 36, 37. Yeah. So after I turned 37, that number stopped. But then, I'm forgetting my age. I'm so sorry. But yeah, it was when I turned 37. So then the 11s, I started seeing 11s all the time. And I was like, why do I keep seeing 11? Like 11, 11, looking on license plates, seeing 11 in it. And I just thought that was bizarre. And so when I typed in the 11 thing, and then I went back to the twin flame, I think that led back to twin flames too. And I was like, oh, the link was like purple, like I had visited that site already. And that was one of the things in there. And I was like, oh yeah, the 11s, So, seeing the 11s, and then of course I started seeing other numbers too. The I'm not getting into the story about the spirit visiting me, waking me up at 3:33 in the morning, and distinctly told me some things that kind of came to pass. But yeah, I started seeing the they call them master numbers. I started seeing master numbers all the time. And also the oh, the Lover's card, like I said. I didn't get this with the side, but one I never asked. Wait, yes I did. I asked. One time I asked, "Are me and the side twin flames?" I know you're not supposed to ask tarot card yes or no questions, or you can, but it's just kind of hard to interpret when you do that. But I never got this for us. But I think the first time I asked about Messiah and I asked being twin flames, I was just focusing on the question, are me and Messiah twin flames? And this was the first card I pulled. I didn't pull any more cards because this was, to me, said the answer right there. And the reason why I think it's a twin flame card is because, first off, the Lover's card, of course, first off, it looks like a couple. And then this card is Gemini. Gemini, which is the twins. In astrology, when you connect astrology to tarot cards, they're assigned, you know, planets, signs, and houses in astrology. You know, it relates to astrology. So in astrology, this card relates to Gemini, the twins. And then the guy, behind the guy is that these flames coming up, the little bush. And then this is, to me, I am, higher self. And that's the union. That's like, and then she has the snake, the kundalini, like the, I guess like the spiritual awakening coming up behind her. And to me, in my interpretation, it looks like she can hear her higher self and the spirit guides, but he can't. She has to translate it to him. And to me, that's why the Lover's card represents the twin flame to me. And this is what I pulled with Messiah, who I consider to be my true twin flame. Also, as far as astrology, I jotted down Gemini. I'm trying to say this without getting too far off into astrology. If you already know about astrology, cool. But in astrology, they say Jupiter represents a woman's husband, and Venus represents a man's wife. I know some people say Mars, but I go based off of Vedic astrology, but I use tropic astrology, Western astrology for signs. To me, it just makes more sense. But Vedic has it down point. But as far as their house system, they use the whole signs. But anyway, okay, I'm getting too far. Anyway, yeah, so a woman's husband is represented by Jupiter. And depending on where Jupiter is placed in your chart can have some significances where you're going to meet him, his characteristics, and things like that. My planet Jupiter is sitting in the sign of Gemini, the twin. So that's why it made me think, like, of course, you know. And not only that, but Jupiter rules my 8th house. My 8th house is Pisces, which I read somewhere that your 8th house relates to soulmates or something. And to me, it's like almost like saying your soulmate has Gemini qualities, and he is a chatterbox. So yeah, that is my reason. Those are my that's my list of signs of having a twin flame union. I would like to talk more about it, but I know this video is getting really long, so I won't. But if you have any questions, leave them in the comments box below, and you know, I'll definitely answer. Right now, it's not like I have tons of followers right now. So yeah. And oh, also I wanted to, before I go, I wanted to mention the body aches and soreness. Now my Messiah, who I consider to be my twin, he had surgery on his left leg and thigh, hip, like some years ago. And the other day, like for like almost a week, my whole left side, inner thigh, hip area was bothering me. And it didn't really dawn on me, and that it was possible that I was picking up on his energy. I never did get to ask him if he was having problems there. Could just be me, especially since I didn't get to confirm that information. But it was just a thought, like I wonder if, and especially since as of late, I've started experiencing these symptoms again. And because they had stopped, when I was with the side, all this stuff kind of started off, and then I can't remember when it stopped. The heart fluttering and all of that, I can't remember when it stopped exactly. But I know I wasn't experiencing it with Messiah. Yeah, I wasn't experiencing the heart fluttering with Messiah. Some dreams, like near the end of me and Messiah's breakup, I started having like premonitions that I told you guys in the other video that he confirmed some things. I told you he thought I was a witch because I had picked up so much information, personal information. And then, what else? I think that's, oh, and a taste. Yeah, but I hadn't been having a heart fluttering. Now, the heart flutters are back, and the weakness in my arms and joints or whatever, that body aches have started back, and I don't know why. I don't know if it has anything to do with what, because I decided that I'm really gonna let him go this time. No more contacting him, no more hope about us. I'm just gonna let him go completely. I don't know if that's the right thing to do, but I can't do this anymore, especially when they make you feel like you got a problem. And I mean, that was what I was holding on to. So knowing that he doesn't feel the same way is just too hurtful. So I'm just gonna let him go. I'm still okay. If this had been months ago, I wouldn't even be making this video. I'd be somewhere crying and wanting to jump off a bridge or something. But so see how far I've come. So yeah, I have made a video that is way too long. Goodbye, people. I will talk to you later.